The story begins on a mysterious island where scientists are once again experimenting with genetic mutations, specifically with dinosaurs. Everything looks under control, with the lab running smoothly like a high-tech Jurassic Park. But suddenly, the mood shifts, like going from a science movie to a horror one, similar to Final Destination. It all starts with a small, careless mistake. One of the scientists tosses a piece of trash, part of a sneaker, onto the ground. That tiny bit of litter jams up the closing system of one of the high-security doors. As a safety protocol, the entire lab system shuts down and reboots. But during that reboot, the most dangerous creature on the island, a horrifying dinosaur called Distortis Rex, escapes its containment. Everyone rushes out, but one unlucky scientist gets trapped inside, and the terrifying Distortis Rex eats him. The mutated dinosaurs are left trapped on the island, which becomes completely off-limits. Now, let's jump 5 years later, after the events of Jurassic World. Dominion. The world has changed. Dinosaurs are no longer able to live freely. The Earth's current environment, its harsh climate and spreading diseases, has made it difficult for them to survive. People have also started to lose interest in dinosaurs altogether. The few species that do survive are living in secret, mostly in a tropical river zone near the equator, where humans are not allowed to go. After that are introduced to Zora Bennett, a talented recovery specialist. She's in a car with Martin Krebs, an executive from a company named Parker Hanks. They are working on a new medication, but they've run into a problem. They lack a vital ingredient. Zora is confused about her role in this, as her expertise lies in extractions and recoveries, not pharmaceuticals. That's when Martin mentions the restricted area in Ecuador, specifically a location called St. Hubert Island. Zora immediately feels uneasy and expresses her desire to exit the vehicle. Martin points out that 1 in 5 individuals succumb to heart disease, and if she assists, she could potentially provide people with 20 additional years of life. However, Zora is aware of his true intention. He wants her to return to that island, which is extremely perilous and largely prohibited by many governments. Consequently, she demands a staggering sum. She wants $10 million. Martin agreed. To get more help, they go to see Dr. Henry Loomis, a paleontologist who runs a dinosaur museum. Unfortunately, his museum is struggling because the world doesn't care much about dinosaurs anymore. Dr. Loomis explains that the 3 largest dinosaurs ever known fall into 3 groups: one that flies in the sky, one that lives in the sea, and one that walks on land. These creatures are nearly impossible to find now, but a few of them are still alive in the restricted zone near Ecuador. Martin's plan is simple but risky. He wants to get blood samples from these 3 massive dinosaurs to complete the formula for the new drug. He offers Dr. Loomis a large amount of money to join the team, and Loomis agrees because he desperately needs the funds. Zora is then put in charge of leading the top-secret operation to get the DNA from all 3 beasts. They travel to one of the islands close to the equator, where another member of the team named Duncan helps organize the transport and logistics. Meanwhile, far from the team, we're introduced to a father traveling on a boat with his 2 daughters and the boyfriend of one of them. Their peaceful boat trip turns into a nightmare when a mosasaur, a massive sea creature, rises from the water and attacks their boat. The boat flips over, leaving the family stranded in the ocean. Luckily, they have a working radio and send out a distress signal. That signal is picked up by the yacht that Zora and her team are traveling on. Even though they're on an urgent mission, they decide to help and pause their task to save the stranded family. After rescuing them, the father describes the terrifying attack and the size of the creature that sank their boat. Dr. Loomis realizes it must have been a mosasaur, one of the largest sea reptiles ever. He's excited and curious, thinking they might need to search for it, but before they even begin, the mosasaur finds them first. It attacks their yacht. During this dangerous encounter, Zora manages to take advantage of the situation and collect the first DNA sample they need from the mosasaur. But their troubles are far from over. The mosasaur returns, and this time it brings backup, a group of spinosaurs that help it hunt. Things spiral out of control quickly. Plan A completely fails. 2 crew members are killed, and their yacht is badly damaged. They have no choice but to steer into shallow waters, where the mosasaur can't follow. Unfortunately, this maneuver wrecks the yacht completely, making it useless. With just a few supplies they manage to recover, The team now has to go deeper into the island on foot to find the 2 remaining dinosaurs and get their DNA. Thankfully, Zora had already prepared a plan B. She arranged for a helicopter to come and search for them in 24 hours. But there's a catch. The helicopter will fly by for only 2 minutes, and if they don't reach the extraction site in time, they'll be left behind. So the pressure is on. They need to finish the mission quickly and get to the helipad before the clock runs out. While trekking across the island, Zora and Dr. Loomis come across something incredible. A Titanosaurus, the largest land-dwelling dinosaur on Earth. It's a massive, awe-inspiring sight. Without wasting a moment, Zora moves in fast and carefully collects the second DNA sample, placing it safely inside a cryogenic suitcase that keeps it cool and protected. At this point, the group is no longer all together. The father, his daughters, and the daughter's boyfriend had gotten separated from the main team earlier, during the chaos when the mosasaur attacked and sank their boat. Now, the only thing guiding them is the hope that there's a facility somewhere on the island. If they can reach it, maybe they can find a radio and call for help. While trying to survive, the young girl makes an unlikely friend, a baby triceratops. She names it Dolores, and from that moment on, the two are inseparable. Dolores follows her everywhere, adding a bit of heart to an otherwise dangerous mission. To make their way across the island, the family discovers a series of old pipes that seem to lead to one of the island's facilities. It's a tight squeeze and dangerous, but it's their best chance to move forward safely. For most of the film, they'll follow this underground path, hoping it leads them to safety. Meanwhile, Zora and her crew continue the mission. After more searching, they finally stumble upon a Quetzalcoatl's nest, home to the largest flying creature that ever lived. With great caution, the team approaches and collects the final DNA sample they need. Now they have all 3, one from the sea, one from land, and one from the sky. The mission is almost complete, but they've got to hurry. The clock is still ticking toward the helicopter's arrival. While racing to the heliport, they miraculously come across the shipwrecked civilians, the family they'd rescued earlier. It's a lucky reunion, but there's no time to celebrate. Suddenly, the power plant at the research center turns back on. The lights, sounds, and heat alert every dangerous creature nearby. The jungle stirs as the dinosaurs start moving in. Right on schedule, the rescue helicopter flies in. But just as hope returns, the worst thing imaginable happens. The story's main villain finally appears. Crawling out of the shadows is the Distortis Rex, a terrifying, deformed version of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but with 6 limbs, a long, twisted jaw, and an alien-like appearance. It's huge and unnatural. With a deafening roar, the Distortis Rex leaps at the helicopter and destroys it, crushing their only known way off the island. Everyone panics. But Duncan, the island expert who's been helping them the entire time, suddenly remembers something. There's an old boat hidden at the far edge of the island. It's their last chance. He quickly leads everyone through underground sewer tunnels, using his knowledge of the island to navigate. While all this is happening, Martin, the corporate agent who started the mission, has already gone his separate way. He's thinking only about the DNA samples and the millions they're worth to the pharmaceutical company. But greed doesn't protect him for long. Just as he tries to sneak away with the samples, Distortis Rex catches up with him and brutally kills him. Zora, still focused and brave, grabs the cryogenic briefcase containing the samples before the beast can destroy it. Now, the mission isn't just about survival, it's about making the right choice. To escape, someone needs to distract the monster. Duncan steps up again, risking his life. He grabs a handful of flares and runs into the open, waving them to get the monster's attention. The bright red light draws the Distortis Rex away from the others, giving Sora and the group just enough time to lower the boat into the water and escape. It's intense. Everyone thinks Duncan sacrificed himself, but surprisingly he survives the encounter. He manages to escape the creature in the end, proving he's as tough as he is brave. Now, Zora holds the case with all 3 dinosaur DNA samples. She can give it to the pharmaceutical company, who will turn the cure for heart disease into a super expensive drug that only the rich can afford. Or she can release the data to the world, so the cure is available to everyone, no matter their income or status. Without much hesitation, Zora chooses the greater good. She picks humanity over profit. As the team sails away from the island, Little Isabel gently hugs her new friend, Dolores the baby Triceratops, who she now adopts as her pet. It's a sweet ending after all the danger, loss, and wild dinosaur encounters. And that's how this fourth installment of Jurassic World wraps up. What did you think of the story? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all. See you next time.